This is my week 6 homework. Starting out lines 1 through 3. Well, first of all, this whole thing here, we're creating a market dashboard. And so the first 3 lines, we're just importing the libraries. Why finance is to download the market data, the historical market data. And pandas is used to create data forms. And matplot is used to create the visualization of the plot graph. And so line 11 here, YF download function, this is used to grab the historical data for our tickers in the data range. And so our tickers are Apple, Microsoft, and Google, and the data range is 2020, the start of 2020 to the end of 2020. And then close right here is used to get the closing price. And then next, we're going to be getting our daily percentage. We're calculating daily percentage using the percentage change, which calculates the percentage between the days. And 17, we're finding volatility by computing the standard deviation of daily returns. And then 20, we're calculating the cumulative return using data iloc, the data iloc -1. This is to get the last price and then compare it to the first price, which is data iloc 0 and then -1. So this is the last price and this is the first price. And then 23, we're creating this is where we create our panda data frame, just to summarize the return, the prices, and the volatility. And so here we have our prices, and this is the panda data frame that we're creating. That's the purpose of this function right here. And we're getting the volatility, the returns, the end price and start price, the cumulative return. And then next, down here we are plotting. This is where we start to plot. This is what we use to plot for a graph that's coming up. We're going to be plotting the date, the returns, the tickers, and the lines for the tickers. And so we'll play that out right here. Wait for it to load. So right here, it gives us our tickers, our cumulative returns, and from the start dates of 2020 to the end of, or to the start of 2021, but the end of 2020, right here. And then we see Apple, Microsoft, and Google. And then here we get our start prices, our end price, our cumulative return, our average daily return, and the volatility, which is stemming from this data frame right here. And then next, 50 to 96. Here we're creating a technical analysis system. So we already know what what the point of these are. But 52, something new, is we're using NumPy, and so this will help with numerical operations. And then 55, we're defining our stock in the data range. So we're getting this from Yahoo Finance, so our stock will be Apple, and the data range is from the start of 2020 to the end of 2021, and it will be the closing price that we're grabbing. And then 59, the DF, the data frame. This is or we're getting our data frame. This we're getting our data from, and we're able to calculate the 50-day average of the closing price and the 200 simple moving average of the closing price. 63, right here, we're using the NP-where as a if condition that will buy the stock if the 50-day average is greater than the 200-day average. And if else, it will be at 0, 0, and it will be sold. So right here, sold if it's something else. And then 67, we are calculating the daily percentage return. In the fill in A, this will fill in missing values with the number 0. And in 68, here are signals to be able to choose whether or not we buy or sell. 72, at line 72, it's going to return. These are our strategy returns. It will show the strategy return and the data return, and it's simulating a growth portfolio that's cumulative, and it's buy or hold, and it'll track a line that, or it'll track our points of buying and holding, and how the strategy is performing. 76, it's our plot. This is our plot graph for the graph that will be coming up. And so we're plotting the 50 and the 200-day simple moving average, and so that is the purpose of these. And these are the titles, X label, everything about there. And then here we'll have another graph that will be different, and it will show between the strategies. It's pulling this from our data frame, so our buy and hold strategy, or just our other strategy that we have, and then more of the titles and labels. And so let's run that. Okay, this is just showing our simple moving averages at the closing price, and for Apple, and this is the 50-day simple moving average, and this is the 200-day simple moving average. And this is our strategy performance versus our buy and hold graph. The buy and hold being the green, and the blue being the strategy, and we can tell that definitely the buy and hold strategy is one that worked better based off our cumulative returns. And then also from our data frame using the pandas, we're getting the oh, sorry, this is not, we haven't gotten that yet. And then here, we're getting, this is the data frame for our analyzed return, the volatility and the Sharpe ratio from earlier, from here. Oh, sorry, this is actually for this next one that we're getting this for. So lines 100 to 140. We're building a portfolio analysis tool, which is this right here. So we're defining Microsoft, Apple, and Google. Oops, sorry. This is not that. This is still from our last one. From here. Let me just make sure. Yes, we are getting our beta, the market variance, analyze return, Sharpe ratio. So that should be this one. So this is our portfolio statistic one. Getting the Apple, the Microsoft, and the Google. And so we know the purpose of these. So 105, we're defining our stocks, what we want to analyze, and the NumPy array that we're using for it. Let's just be able to get the weights of our stock that we have. So we have 40% Apple, 30% Microsoft, and 30% Google. Here we're just downloading from Yahoo Finance. It's the start date, the end date, and a closing price. 112, we're computing the daily percentage return, and the point dropna NA is just moving any missing values. And then 115, we're getting our portfolio return, and so the returns dot dot. This is computing the portfolio return based on stock allocations. So the weightage, the 40, the 30, and 30%. And then here we are getting, it's just the same thing. We're getting the market percentage return instead. But 121, we are calculating the beta by calculating the covariance matrix, the market variance, and the beta of each stock. And so that's the purpose of these. And next 126, we're calculating a Sharpe ratio. And these are the formulas needed for these. Portfolio return minus risk rate, excess return divided by excess return standard deviation times square root. And then here, this will be printing out our portfolio statistics, which is this right here, based off the Panda data frame from earlier. So we get our betas rounded to 2 decimal places, and the portfolio return, the analyzed return, is rounded to 4 decimal places. And same for analyzed volatility and the Sharpe ratio. And so it says, and here we get the print portfolio statistics, and it'll be printing out the stats. We were not able to get the beta, but we were able to get the analyzed returns of each stock, the analyzed volatility, and the Sharpe ratio. And then next, recreating a report just on our stocks that we have that's compared to the S&P 500 and NASDAQ. And so let's start. So at 150, we're downloading the market index data, and so this is the purpose of this, using the GSPC for the S&P 500, IXIC for NASDAQ. And here we're having the start times, the end times, and then at the closing price. And then on 155, here we're calculating the market breadth indicators. And so the purpose of these is to, if it's greater than, if the daily percent change is up or if it's down, it would choose which stocks to go for, or which the health of the stocks, or the health of the market, I should say, or where the market is at. And so 157 and 158, it's just measuring how many stocks and if whether they're advancing or declining. And so that's what we have here from the NumPy array, or it sets up a NumPy array. And then 161, so we're calculating the 50 and the 200 day moving average of the S&P and of the S&P index, and the MP, where is if the 50 day average is greater than the 200 day, then it will result in bullish, and if the 200 is greater than the 50, it will result in bearish. So that's the purpose of this. 167, here we are just measuring the volatility, the percent change, and the standard deviation. And here it'll give us our market health report, which you'll see down here. It'll print out the current S&P 500, the current NASDAQ level, the market trend, the advance to decline ratio, and the 30-day volatility. this iLock right here, uh, this is used just to put the closing price trend sentiment, and the iLock will show in it if it's bullish or bearish. And so we have the print data frame that we're using, and this is the data frame that we get. So the current market is at 4,700. For Nasdaq, it's 100 or 15,000. And so the market trend is bullish. We get the advance to decline ratio and the 30-day volatility. Next, we are getting a dividend analysis. If I can move this down, if it'll let me. And so here we're using Y Finance, Pandas, and then the NumPy array, and we're doing a dividend analysis for Apple. We're downloading the dividend history from Yahoo Finance. Let's see, level 192 or line 192. This if is if it is not, or if it does have dividend data, then it will sum up the dividend payments and will remove the years with no dividend payments. And so this is where we're removing the years. And then next, 199. So this dividend index is converting the data index to only show the year. And so that is this right here. Line 202. So this float is forcing the dividend data to be numeric. So that is the purpose of the float. And 205. Here, this is converting the series into a data frame. Dividends to frame. We're converting it into a data frame, just so we can handle it easier. And then the fill NA is filling the zeros, or it's filling in zeros for the ones that have it NA in. And then 212, we are ignoring the zeros, when computing the average dividend growth. And so here we have the zero. The growth rate is greater than 0, so we're ignoring that part. $2.15. We're projecting our future dividend income. We are saying that if our growth rate here, if our growth rate is NAN or 0, we just assume a default rate of just 2%. So if it is 0, we'll assume that the default rate is 2%. And then we're getting our, we're just printing out the dividend analysis and the stats, the historical data, and we're creating the data frame from it. And so for our dividend analysis for Apple, we get the dividends, the growth rate, the dates. We see that dividends have been increasing for quite a bit now for Apple. And then here we're projecting our future dividends based. Hold on. Based off historical data. And so this is the projection for year 1, for year 2, for year 3, for year 4, and year 5. next 235 to 282. At 240, we are defining the sectors of our ETFs. And so we have the financials, technology, consumer, and discretionary. All of these down here below. We'll be showing these, as you can see right here. The acronym for all of them will be placed up top in the data frame. And we are downloading the data from we're creating a list to set up the data for all of the indexes with the start date and the end time date. And then at 257, we are printing the first two rows of the data. We're just printing two first rows, and so that is the purpose of the head. It's creating the head data or the head structure of it. And so we'll print out our closing price, our tickers, and the date. And then 260, if the if function here is used to know if the adjacent close exists, then we use it, and if not, then we go back to close, and if neither exists, then we just stop the execution. Adjust it close, then we'll stop the execution here. 273, on line 273, we're getting the total return percentage, the volatility percentage, and the Sharpe ratio, and we'll get that in our last one down here later. I'll show you guys it later. And 278, or these are the formulas for it too, that we're needing for it. 278, the performance dot d or underscore df PD data frame. So this is creating data or like a sector performance, and it's sorting it by the best performing sectors using the values. And here we're printing it out, and then this is the printage we get. So you guys saw this before. And then we have the percentage of the total return, the best one, going down, and then the volatility and the Sharpe ratio of each sector. And that is my week 6.